Right, friends, weekly stock market update. So let's look at the data, 24th of March. And let's look at these charts. Some really interesting things happening. And I made some purchases this past week, so I'm going to share those with you as well. And a look to the week ahead. Don't forget, this is all part of my campaign for 1 million to teach 1 million people how to be better at investing. And incredibly important that is too. So there we go. This is the first one. This is price to earnings ratios. In other words, the stock price relative to the profitability of the companies. And what you can see there is energy in green is pretty much alongside diversified banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo and Citibank, just about the only cheap sectors. The regional banks are cheap, but you're probably going to stay clear of those for now as well. So there's a lot of expensive companies out there, which is why the market's finding it difficult to just soar ahead, and forget those days of soaring ahead anyway, given rising interest rates, even though they might be approaching a peak now. What have we got in terms of performance for the past week? Well, thankfully, technology's done well, and I'm glad I'm holding a bunch of those, well, all of those green ones pretty much. Nvidia, Adobe I own, Alphabet I own, Disney I own, Tesla, Visa, MasterCard. However, got out of some of the energy companies at the back end of last year, as you will know if you've been following my weekly updates in any event. And we'll look at some of these in more detail in just a second. So it's not been a bad week for the markets, but obviously it wasn't everything rising by any means. So what do the individual stocks look like? And we'll look at that straight after this slide. Energy on a price earnings growth basis still looks cheap. So another measure of valuation is share price relative to the rate of growth of profits, and it looks cheap. Okay. Other than energy, everything else doesn't. Focusing on the S&P 500, it's bounced off its support. You can see that over there. And if I zoom in, you'll see it even better. And so the worst seems to be behind us, but let's see. And the monthly MACD, a measure of momentum, seems to have based. It doesn't look like it's going to fall lower as things stand for the moment. So as I say, the worst might be behind us, but let's not count our chickens. And we're just holding fire at the moment. For that, for those who are on my Great Investments program and get my approved filtered list, you'll know you'll be waiting till next week when it's the first of the month before we'd look at more stocks. The FTSE 100, on the other hand, as I said numerous occasions over the past few weeks, has indeed fallen off a cliff, and that's the clue was given by the MACD. It made a lower high, but the price made a higher high, and that's bearish. And it has indeed fallen off. Doesn't mean it won't have a positive week in the coming week, and tends to do that when this pattern forms, just a bit of a dead cat bounce. Apple, look, base after a big fall on the monthly MACD. It started to rise. It's going to move in that channel. It's good. Have I bought more yet? I could. Actually, might be worth looking at. Actually, I should make a note of that. I think I might buy more this forthcoming week. I bought Microsoft already in the past week. Alphabet, it's clearly formed a base down here, and one can see that. It's very clear indeed that that is almost certainly not going to get breached now. That is it. And so it's going to be trading along there. That's fallen quite a bit. We're looking at it doing that. All very good. Doesn't mean it's going to be V-shaped. Life isn't that simple. It may well just move in this channel for all we know for a bit, but I'm holding it. I'll continue holding it. Microsoft, as I already mentioned, I own and bought more of, and it's come off, and you can see the idea there is this, and similarly this upward trend could do that. It might move at a lower angle of inclination. Either way, it's good positive returns on that one. Certainly for the risk that one would be taking. Before I get into Amazon, don't forget alpeshpatel.com/links, and you'll be able to, don't forget to subscribe, like, but you'll also see copies of my book, Telegram. You can see my daily updates there if you follow me on Telegram. Now, let's go back then to Amazon. Again, on track. That's the direction. If you've been following me in the previous weeks, you'll see that's the projection we made. That's where we are. I like it. Would I buy more at the moment? Again, may well this week. Mainly in light of the fact that if I haven't got elsewhere to put the money, then it's better than cash at the moment. So that's Adobe, another one that I own, and that's the base, and that's what we're looking to happen with that. And again, the AI story's been playing on this one a fair bit. Disney sadly didn't continue doing this, which is what I expected. It's pulled back almost all its gains since the start of the year. And it's just needing a bit more time, I guess, to go and do that, like so many others. You'll see a common pattern here. Do you notice how so many of them are looking at that, but some are moving more sharply upwards, like Taiwan Semiconductor. Others, I said, like Disney, have got a very similar pattern, but fallen off more. But at least they're in the same ballpark, which is oversold on the monthly MACD and likely to rise in any event. Nvidia, now that's what I would have loved to have seen all the stocks I picked do, which is just move across smoothly and then just move more in a V shape, and that's given us a great return. But you can see this hasn't quite done that. It's taking more time to do it, as some stocks would. And this, similarly, is taking more time to do it and is coming back to the downside a bit more. But they're all in the same boat. In other words, they all look rather similar. Some are just leading ahead at the moment, but I'm happy to be holding all of those. Now, JP Morgan, banking crisis, all the rest of it. I doubt this will fall back to the levels it had there, and I certainly doubt it'll fall back down to these, because if it was going to, it would have happened already. And it's not, and I think we may hopefully have got a base over there before we resume backwards to what we'd originally anticipated. But let's wait and see. Tesla, great, it's started going back up again, and you know what we're looking at. We're looking at this happening with that. So really pleased with that one. So that's your weekly update. Don't forget Telegram, YouTube, follow me on that, Instagram if you wish. So thank you all very much for the weekly updates. And like I said, the daily updates, if you want those, then it's Telegram you want. Thank you all very much.